This is FSD Beta 11.4.7.2, and I am using the newer navigation data from 2023. This is the drive around Plant City Drive. Hit the bookmarks for the interesting bits, or just run the video back at twice the speed or what have you. These lights, it slows down because it's two green lights in quick succession. It tries to clear one to confirm that the next one is ready to go through. Now the construction up ahead will likely cause an issue depending on the traffic. Although it's the weekend, I'm not sure they actually have the lane closed. They do not. They're adding a traffic light at this intersection. Lane was closed the other day, but I guess it's working fine now. It did pick up on the lowered speed limit for construction, but this will be where they put in the traffic light. That's end road work. I'm going to run the speed limit up to 45, which is what the speed limit actually is here. If I wait until it sees a 45 mile an hour sign, I'll be waiting a while. But the things I normally try and point out on this drive is, right now we're going to a dedicated U-turn, and then I'm going to go to a geometry change, and then I will work on going through a wishbone for a one-way road, half a roundabout, and then some narrow roads, and then I'll go to the left turn that's been giving me issues. I guess the speed limit's only 40. No. So I'm not expecting any difference between this one and the last one, but in the interest of documenting progress and all that. Porsche behind me. This speed limit sign makes me chuckle, but the system always sees it. It's hidden behind a telephone pole. So I'm going to hit the accelerator because it ought not be stopping for these train tracks. So that was an intervention. And it actually hasn't done that in a while, so it's a little disappointing. And we do need to be in the left lane. The ding lets me know that it's going to go left, so here we go. Anytime now. So I do have the dings turned on because it lets me know that the car is going to do something. This is going to plant me in the middle of the intersection. Nope, good. That guy's license plate says hentai. I think that says all we need to know about that individual. So, not this traffic light, but the next one. The two left, the lane I'm in addition to the left lane that will appear, they both turn left. This lane used to be a go straight or turn left, but they have since changed it. Oh, don't be like this. They have since changed it so that both lanes go left. I am plugged in the middle of the intersection. There's a red Tesla behind me. Right, so here we see left turn only. Historically, it would drop me into the left lane unnecessarily. Now it seems to be doing solid. There is a truck trying to turn right, which I think the car will brake for. Nope, good, perfect. That's solid. No touchy touch necessary. A lot more Teslas on the road. That's 1, 2, 3, third one on this trip alone. I remember back in 2019 when it was, people would see me and go, oh, look, it's a Tesla. And now it's, oh, look, another one. So this is a dedicated turn lane to turn right. It's green, so we ought not stop to check for traffic, but the car normally does. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'm gonna push the nope, okay. The car picked it up on its own. It really shouldn't stop though, because it is a dedicated turn lane, right? It turns into a lane that is its own, and there's no real reason to check for flow. The light was also green. Yeah. Okay, so that unnecessary braking. It should have waited to change lanes until after that black car. The braking was because as it was changing lanes, it was realizing, oh hey, there's a car there. It might pull out in front of me. And then, not this left turn, but the next left turn is a dedicated U-turn. The system does not support doing U-turns, so it will not do this on its own. Or it ought not do this on its own. So now we get into the turn lane, and I will be holding the accelerator down to make it go. So, unable to complete maneuver, please assist. I am assisting. And disengaging. It wanted to get back into the flow of traffic here. So I will do this turn entirely manually. They all have red arrows. Technically they can turn right on a red arrow. Some people are a little bit more shy than others about it. I have a green light and I just got honked out because I'm not paying attention. Going to manually drive this way and then reroute. I do not have a car behind me, so I will do this real quick. I need to see it this way, or I can't see what I'm doing. No one is behind me. I need to be here. Yes. So the next place I'm routing to is where the geometry has changed, the road geometry has changed. Right? Yes. Right? Yes. So this intersection, it has to frogger its way across. I don't know what this semi-truck is going to do. I guess he's turning right. I feel like there was probably a better way for him to go. No, he's turning left. Okay, well, we'll be here a while. Alright, so here we have to frogger our way across. So it'll need to check and make sure traffic is clear on both sides. Can we see them? Not yet. There are pedestrians coming on the right, but they're still a little bit of ways away. Technically I can go now, but no, there's a truck. And after this truck I can go. There it goes. Easy peasy. So here we're stopping too far back from the stop sign. Stopped about, I don't know, 10 feet back. So on my left, obviously it can't be shown here, but there's a great big barn. Not a big barn, but an inconvenient one. I can see to my left, I can see to my right, there's a red truck. Car in front of me has a right of way. I'm hitting the accelerator to go because the car nosed itself out too far. Pretty good for green lights and traffic today. Say next thing coming up is a road geometry change. And I only come out this way if I have to, which at the moment is when I record these videos. So going in this direction will be fine, but when we turn around and come back, it won't work. Well, it likely won't work. So the road geometry change, I updated Google and it reflects on here because this is Google, but the routing is something on Tesla's side that I'm still trying to figure out. But the road now goes here, whereas Tesla's nav data still shows the old route, which went diagonally over here. So going here will be fine, the car will figure it out, but when we come back, it won't be able to make that left turn. So it's slowing because it's looking for the left turn, or the right turn, but it can't find it. So now it's just figuring it out on its own. Now it can go. Oh, good, they fixed the pothole that was there. So when we come back, it'll try and stop and turn here when it can't. So we have a green arrow. That was kind of nice. It didn't fire me over the train tracks. So now we're going to send it back from whence it came. Yeah. So when we go back, this doesn't exist, so that will fail. I swear the speed limit on this road was like 35. Nope, I guess it's 25. Okay. So the car ahead of me has the right of way. We should be yielding to the car ahead. I have to stop. Car ahead of me had the right of way. Should have waited. It didn't brake and it confused them. Alright. So that was a disengagement. Well, did they have the right of way? I was turning right. But they did start to move before me, so yes. Yeah, they had the right of way. I think we started moving first because we initially had the right of way because we were turning right on a stop. And then it became their right of way when they started moving before us. I don't know. A lot of these things boil down to timing issues to me these days, right? Like it's like you'll approach a light that just turns green and the car is going to start moving before the opposing traffic starts to move, because there's the brain processing time is gone, right? Like it's not, hey, the light is green, I need to push the accelerator. It's, hey, the light is green, and the car instantly goes the instant it sees the change. So it's like you have a split-second timing difference from a human in the computer processing. So here, again, it's going to try and turn left. There's a big old semi-truck behind me, so I'm not going to let it goof up too much here. But it sees the left it wants to turn, and it can't. There's a disengagement. Tries to turn at non-existent left. Right? So this is where it should turn left, but because it can't handle that, we're just going to keep going straight. So that's not fixed. So next, we're going to go to the roundabout. I know, Rod's the cones more than me. Throwing Sassa, Baker. Right, and then Baker. There it is. Over here. And this is going to take me to the wishbone, or not the wishbone. What are you doing? Yes, wishbone. Okay. So this turn here doesn't always work. The semi-truck in this instance is way far behind me. So I'm gonna try and let it play out unless this light stays red long enough. We'll see what happens. It's green. So we're gonna need to turn left. And it's a bit of a hook turn. Oh, there is debris in the road. Oh, I'm gonna disengage. Debris in the road. So we have yet to do that turn. No, that's not true. We did it properly once, but again, there's debris in the road this time, and it did not look like the car was going to try to avoid it. Now this is a 2022 Model Y with the ultrasonics on the front. So in theory, the ultrasonics could have picked up on the debris in the road, but they're not turned on for anything other than park assist. They're not used for the full self-driving stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. It even sees it. This guy's got his turn signal on. There is a car behind me tailgating me pretty bad. And I'm guessing we're following something slow. Yes, what are we following? Pallet truck. I don't know, it's a road debris generator. So this railroad crossing that we're gonna be coming to here, sometimes the car brakes for it, sometimes it doesn't. Still trying to figure out the logic on it. I think sometimes it's the sun shining off of it makes it look like a red light, and then other times it's just trying to avoid stopping on the tracks. But this time it worked. Somebody's electric scooter got left alone. So next up is a wishbone. So here, traffic is one way in this direction, but traffic going in this direction can hook around, and so this street here is bidirectional, and then it goes into a one-way street. Historically, the car tries to get into the leftmost lane instead of the rightmost lane when it takes that right, so we'll see what happens. Green light. Right, so the timing issue I'm referring to is that timing issue there, right? Like, I saw it was green, and the car probably would have started moving as soon as the light turned green, right? But a human driver, they may be distracted, they may be not distracted, so there's that small buffer time where if you're at an unprotected left, or you're trying to make a left at a green light that's not a dedicated green arrow, then the timing issues can pop up. So that's a lot of the issues I'm seeing right now are just general timing issues, almost like they need to build in being distracted at a green light or something, you know? If you're trying to turn left, basically. So the train tracks back there were the ones the car braked for earlier that I had to hit the gas for. Not sure why it worked fine this time, but you know, goes to show the intermittent nature of things. So while this light's red, again, this section of Reynolds is bidirectional, and we're going to be merging into a one-way road. The car needs to stay in the right lane, even though it is going to be making a left turn once we're on the one-way road. Let's see what she does. Turn right. So I mean, it's not rocket science. These cars ahead of me are going to do the same thing here. Right, he stays in the right lane. He stays in the right lane. We're going to move this way to show whether or not there's traffic coming, which there is not. So we should stay in the right lane. It did it! Nice. Now we need to change to the left lane. That's nice. I'm glad that's fixed. That felt unsafe before. So next up is we're going to turn and then go to City Hall. Roundabout where that red truck is. So where that white car just nosed out, we're going to be turning. No. this. I'm scaring this guy probably, I'm sure. That was not well done. But that guy is not at the stop line either. But he can't be at the stop line because the church blocks his view. It keeps trying to course correct back between the lines, but it wants to be over to the right to make this right turn. So there's a lot of stupidity going on there. Oh, there's a police car. So we're going to make this quick. So with the police car here, I'm obviously going to make sure it does not run this red light. And we're going to tell it to go... I need to go this way. Here. So that section is the narrow roads, with Calhoun being bumpy. And let's see if it tries to run the stop sign. Then we'll see what the police officer does here. Alright, I'm going to stop. Felt like it was going to try and run the stop sign. Although it does want to do a right turn where it needs to do... Oh, it does need to do a right turn. I don't know, maybe that's on me. This one might be on me. I didn't realize it wanted to make a right when it got here. Honestly, the police officer was giving me performance anxiety. Yeah. I think it showed a different route when I originally plotted it. You can go. Originally it was going to go over the cobblestone road, the brick road that it has done in the past. And it opted not to. Not sure why. Stop sign was occluded by tree, and the vehicle unfortunately tried to run it. So I'm going to be honest, even I didn't see the stop sign until it was a little late, because it needs to be trimmed, because the tree's blocking it. So I'm actually going to email the city about that when I get home, because that stop sign was really blocked. So these are narrow roads, and one of my complaints is we hug the center line too much, right? Like if we look at the right side of the car, we can actually see there's a bit of distance over there. Oh man, you're gun shy. reach the intersection, and the lane technically widens, the car scoots to the middle of the lane before scooting back into the lane it's supposed to be in. This is going to be the end of the navigation. Alright, so we're going to end trip, and then... What do you mean? We're at the destination. Why would you ask me? Trip's over. Alright, so we're going to do here. Okay, so the phone overheated. So I ultimately had to park and let it, like, not overheat. So this is continuing the narrow roads testing here. The first time you'll see the video cut out around here, and I caught it cutting out this time, so I just went and parked to the park. Then put the phone in front of the air conditioning vents to cool it down. Which, so funny enough, the air conditioning vents are like the right size to just drop the phone in front of it and cool it down. So I guess I can't do any video recording in this car without it being an ice box. So again, we're leaving a lot of room open on the right and preferring to ride the center line. And then we're doing a lot of turning the wheel to the left to make the right in these really wide turns, which really they ought not be necessary. So we're going to make a left here. Thinking here. Go here. Yep. Edit trip. Get rid of cherry. Done. A pickup coming from the right, but there's tons of space. interesting that it chose to loop around now. Not really, I guess. I was going to make a hypothesis about maybe it's trying to avoid narrow roads in its routing, but I think not. You know, a smart person probably would have made like a whole bunch of random waypoints while he was waiting for his phone to cool off, but I guess I'm not that smart person. Holy shit, these bumps. So it was angling the wheel left towards the car, which made me uncomfortable. So I'm going to disengage and no. Cats fighting in that driveway. You know, it almost seems like in routing it's trying to prefer not narrow roads and whatnot. So this is an unmarked road. We're riding right down the middle of the road. Not ideal. Oh wow, now we're on the wrong side of the road. This is really narrow. Nothing from the left or the right. This one here is a more normal road. Personally, I would turn right then left because that's the faster way to get there. But I don't know. It's interesting pathing choices, routing choices. Again, it angles the wheel to the left to make a right. Disengage and then we'll get out of here. I need to look at it this way, and then I need to be here. I want to do this one. Let's see if it keeps it. It is. Good. See, you rerouted yourself. See, I've had an issue with this thing every now and then where you'll pick a route and then you'll look away and it's picked a different one, but it's not like a traffic optimized one or something. It's just like all of a sudden it decided to go in that direction. So again, we're more to the middle of the road than we should be. This vehicle here. So there's still issues with narrow roads. It needs to, this buffer that it has on the right, it needs to use the buffer, and it's just not. And I get it. It's probably a limitation of the Tesla Vision system, right? It's I'm sure the Vision can see where the curb is, but it's probably like a in case I mess up type of thing. So I don't know. It's tricky. So now we have to wait. And then there should be one more vehicle after this. Don't go. Now we can go, but we need to remain in the right lane. Both of these lanes are one way in this direction. There we go. So these parts here are nice. The narrow roads and stuff is a mess. So next up is the left turn that does not perform well for me, which admittedly recently has started performing well. So I don't know if they've tweaked it since I've started being more noisy about complaining it, or if it's just kind of fixed itself. But I'll explain it more once I get closer to it. So this downtown section tends to have a lot of pedestrians, although most of them tend not to cross the street. The upcoming turn is a left turn. It's a ways away, but there's some explanation. It's two left turn lanes, one immediately after the other, and they're both combined, right? But last year, the the city of Plant City actually lowered the speed limit on this road. So here it's 35. There you can see the sign that says it goes up to 40 miles an hour later on. But the 40 mile an hour sign fell off. And I reached out to the city and I had them put a new sign up. And you can look at the videos in the past and you can see. But we'll pass this. The car is going to go to 40. It sees it. When we pass this road, it's going to go to 45. There. So their speed limit data is segmented, and I believe that is related to the speed limit data on TomTom's site because of how TomTom has the road segments set up. So here's the 2 turn lanes. Here's the first one. I don't need to get into that. The car in front of me is going slow enough. We're going to get over. Ooh. Normally it behaves more. Lately, it's been doing a lot better about getting into the turn lane properly. Sometimes it jerks into that turn lane. This time it didn't. And are we going to turn? Yes, we are going to turn. Nice. Okay, perfect. And we continue turning. We're driving through a parking lot. Nope. Okay, we're going to take control here. I don't trust it in parking lots anyways. So that time it actually did it well. Now what I don't know is if it did it well because I complained vocally on Twitter, or X now I guess, to Elon in a shock saying, hey, you know, it's messed up here. And I've sent emails to FSD Beta trying to point out how dangerous that turn is. Or if it's doing better just because, you know, some process was in place to update their turning logic or something. So I don't know. But yeah, that is the end of that. As a whole, no major differences. The narrow road stuff is all the same. It did the wishbone better. The U-turn still doesn't work, but that's expected. It shouldn't be working. The road geometry change is still messed up, but again, that's expected. And then the double turn lane thing is better, and I'm still trying to figure out why, but the speed limit thing is a problem. It should not be 40 when it sees a sign and then jump to 45. But I think I understand the logic of why it's doing that. And it's because of the road segments inside of whatever maps that they're pulling. Whether it be the TomTom maps or the OpenStreetMap maps. But I think it's an inherent problem to the source data that they're using. And that's not an easy thing to fix. But that's the end of that. Thanks for watching.